Sometimes I wonder if we're all walking around a little broken. If I was honest with myself, I know what I am. I know I'm broken. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I too have an ego, even though I've been talking a lot about the narc that has made me miserable. But what about me? I'm so self aware that I know that I am broken. I know that I am imperfect. I don't think we're broken in a dramatic, hopeless way, but I think that we're all fractured. I think we can be disconnected from ourselves and from each other, and sometimes as we go through this crazy life, we don't really have a sense of inner stability. It seems as though many people, especially nowadays, are constantly seeking validation to prop up their ego. With social media, technology, they go hand in hand. You get likes, attention, admiration. It's like we're all starving for something we were never taught to give to ourselves. It's a sense of self-worth. I would call it maybe even internal emotional safety. And when we receive that external validation, it becomes normalized and we crave it. We need it from other people instead of from ourselves because it's not satisfying. And I feel like that's when narcissism can really creep in. We're all on a spectrum, and everybody's not always in the extreme, not in the clinical kind, but the everyday kind of entitlement and self-focus, and we all get to the point where we don't want to be held accountable for our actions. That's part of the human experience, and I feel like if I was being honest with myself, I too need the I have the need to be desired. I do. I would be lying to myself if I didn't admit that. And maybe that's where relationships start to fall apart. I know I could probably get a PhD in narcissism, learning about it, especially these last couple of months. I'm learning that narcissism thrives on novelty, on being wanted, on being desired, on avoiding the discomfort these narcs feel within themselves. They feel unworthy, and they have a lot of shame within themselves. These kind of people do not do well with talking about this subject. You know, diving deep regarding intimacy, repair of a marriage, or even discussing their responsibilities if they're lacking in their responsibility as a father or mother in their household. In discussing these kinds of topics, it raises uncomfortable questions, and I'm sure the experts have spoken about this a million times, and I'm sure there's a million videos out there, and this is just my own. I'm nobody, and these are my own thoughts, just looking at my own flaws and my own marriage fall apart. I ask myself, is this why infidelity is so common? Because cheating isn't always about the sexual part, it's about ego fuel. That's what I was trying to write down. Ego fuel. Is that even a term? I don't know. It's boosting your ego. Is this why there's so many people out there that are married but are actually unhappy in their relationship? They tell themselves that they are happy. They like the person, they tolerate the person, but deep down, there's something about them that they're not happy with. I keep saying this, maybe not on many of my videos, but when I have started talking about the abuse that I endured, I started recording myself but not putting anything on YouTube. This was months ago. But when I was reflecting, really have some deep self-reflection, I would talk about what a real partnership requires, and that is compromise and obviously emotional maturity that I will repeat until the day I die. People need emotional maturity. And I don't know if it just came to me naturally. It had to, because I was never taught how to do that inner work. It just came to me, I guess. Maybe I'm one of the lucky ones or unlucky ones, however you want to look at it. So instead of looking inward, I think a lot of people look outward, and they look for another person. They look for other opportunities, another excuse to make them feel good about themselves. I think sometimes that looks like abandoning monogamy. And I've thought about monogamy. You know, to our core, we're all animalistic at the end of the day. But the way I was indoctrinated into a religion and grew up the way I did, I always thought monogamy was the way. And it was the norm. But that's not the issue. I feel like the secrecy and living a double life is the betrayal. It's not the desire to not want to live in a monogamous relationship. That's not it. That's not what hurts. It's the secrecy and the betrayal. You'll see it all around you. You see it on social media all the time. It seems like more women are choosing to stay single. Not because they don't want a man, not because they don't want to find love. It's because we're tired of carrying the emotional labor and tolerating all this bullshit from these men, the dishonesty and just settling. And there's countless men on dating apps now. It's so easy. It's such easy access. It's a free-for-all out there. These men can be married and they're on dating apps, or in serious relationships, or just avoidance, and they're just chasing validation while avoiding what they're truly supposed to be responsible for, and that's growth. A lot of these people, and I'm not just saying it's men, it's women too, but some of these people are hiding these parts of themselves, these desires, these identities, these orientations, because they don't feel safe enough to be honest with themselves, or coming out to their family and saying, hey, I think I might be gay or might be bi, I don't know. Just, it takes a lot of betrayal to hide that from your family, especially if you're married and you're not happy with that person. And again, that secrecy, isn't it about orientation or your sexuality in itself? It's about you're repressing your shame and living a disconnected life. You're not being authentic to who you are. And when people don't know who they are, or don't feel like they're allowed to be who they are, they act out in ways that they hurt themselves and everyone around them, and that is what exactly is going on right now with my ex, or soon-to-be ex-husband. I honestly believe that he just needs to find himself and come out already. It doesn't hurt me to acknowledge what he truly is. I think I would be ready to accept him if he was honest and truthful. But at this time, he's not.